Hello, guys, and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. So, in our previous introduction, we discussed what we were going to cover throughout the structure biology series, right? So today, we are starting with the very fundamental question, like what is structure biology? So, as you can see over here in the screen, structure biology, it is the branch of biology that deals with the three-dimensional structure of a biological macromolecule such as proteins, DNA, and RNA that we have discussed yesterday also, right? Now, before we study in detail about the proteins and the crystallography, the protein data bank or molecular visualization, it is important for us to understand what structure biology study is and how it is, how much it is important, right? So by the end of this video, you should be clearly able to understand what is structure biology, what are the types of molecules we study, what are the molecular interaction which is needed to, maintain all these structures, and how this information can be used in the biomedical research. Okay. Now, about the structure biology, as you can see over here, so definition is given over here. You can just read this definition, okay? And yes, now coming over here, one second, let me just highlight. Okay, now as you can see, these bio molecules or the macromolecules which we are going to discuss in detail are the proteins, DNA, and RNA, and also the complex which is formed by all these molecules when they interact. Okay, now the question comes, why do I specifically emphasize the three-dimensional structure? Now, it's very important to understand that none of these structures, like in their primary form, exist in order to do the function or to carry out any function, right? So they do not normally exist as a simple straight chains, because if they are straight chains, they are just a primary structure and they are not performing any kind of functions. Let it be DNA, let it be RNA, or your proteins. Okay. For example, a protein which is a linear sequence of the amino acids, it folds together, okay, with the help of those molecular interactions and forms a three-dimensional shape. For example, hemoglobin, right? Globin. So when they form this three-dimensional shape, then only it is able to interact and carry out its function. Okay. Similarly, in the case of DNA also, the DNA has to become a double helices. It has to make the folds. Then only it is going to have the functions assigned to it. Okay. So these structures are very extremely important and in biology, because the shape of the molecule after the folding is related to what the function they carry out. Okay. So as we see here now, if you see the molecular structure determines the biological function, right? Just think about an enzyme. I'll be taking each sentence and explaining them with the example, okay? So let's understand over here. So these molecular structure determines its biological function. Let's take an example of an enzyme. So enzyme, it has got the active site, right? This 3D arrangement of amino acids with the active site, it will allow a particular molecule to bind, right? Call the substrates. And then what happens? The conformational changes happens and the substrate is converted into product, right? Now, that's how the enzyme activity is determined. Now, whether this activity is like increases or decreases, it also depends on the structure of the protein. Okay. Similarly, we have got the receptors. Now, these receptors, they recognize particular signaling molecules, and then these antigens or those ligands bind to these receptors and carry out the cell signaling pathway. Therefore, we need to understand the structure of any biological molecule so that we get the information on how the molecule is going to perform its function. Okay. Now, what okay, so now if you see over here, it investigates the shape, organization, and interactions of the molecules at the atomic level, right? So that's why it is important to know the shape of a biomolecule. Then the experimental techniques like XRD, NMR, and Cryo-EM will help us in order to understand the structure of a protein. Okay. Now, if you see, before we proceed over here, just look at the structure of a protein over here. Yeah, you can see. So at the atomic level, we say all the atoms are there. So mainly red is determined for the oxygen, okay? And blue is mainly for the nitrogen. And the others are like you can have your carbon and the hydrogen molecules, okay? Then if you see these alpha helices, and then these are the beta sheets. So these are corresponding your secondary structures. Now together, all these alpha, beta together, it's forming your tertiary structures. Now when the entire structure comes together, it forms your quaternary structures. Okay. So these are just the basic understanding over here for our protein structure. Now, how do we determine our molecular structure? So we have got the XRD, NMR, and Cryo-EM. And as I mentioned in the previous lecture, XRD and NMR will be taken into more detail. Okay. Now I'll just introduce like what happens in the XRD is that in this technique, the crystals has been taken. Okay, the proteins are purified, then they are, crystals are made, and then they're exposed to the X-rays. Now this resulting diffraction information you get after, the X-rays falls on the crystals, and then from the crystals, the electron density is made because there's a diffraction happening. Electron diffraction happens, you get an electron density map, and then from the map you get the structure. Okay, it will give you the 3D arrangement, all the atoms present in the structure. Now whereas in the case of NMR, it uses magnetic properties of the atomic nuclei in order to provide the information about the molecular structure, interactions, and the dynamics. So don't worry guys, we'll go in detail. Little bit of little physics is also required in order to understand the principle of these techniques. Then we have got the cryo-EM. In the cryo-EM, whatever biological molecules are there, let's say your proteins, okay, they are actually rapidly frozen and then they are visualized under the electron microscope, and we use certain computational tools, to process these molecular images, and then all these images will be taken, and then it is converted into the 3D image of that particular structure. Okay. Now, if you see among all these three, XRD, NMR, and cryo-EM, cryo-EM is suitable for studying a very large molecular complex. Okay, whereas in the case of the NMR, it is useful for studying the small protein-like molecules, and XRD to an extent you can use it for the large molecule. Otherwise, small molecules, if it is crystallizing nicely, then XRD is the best one. Okay, now if I ask you a question like, why do we need this structural information? Yeah, any guesses? So why do we need? So as I mentioned before, if you want to know the function of an enzyme, you need the structure, right? Because the structure is going to give you the information, and that's why we need any structural information. Okay. Now, from the structure, we understand the function. And from the function, we understand what kind of biological activity it is happening. And that's how in today's world, many pharma companies are, running behind the drug discovery, designing and modifying the existing drugs in order to combat the diseases like cancer. Okay, so here example has been given. So if you see the structure biology, it plays important role in the drug discovery, the vaccine. I'll take the example of COVID-19 over here because we all have seen and we have gone through the lockdown. So we'll actually can relate more with the COVID-19 example. Okay, I'll take this example in detail. Structure biology also helps in the disease diagnosis as well as in the protein engineering. So this is required again for the drug development. Now, what are the different computational tools we are using here? So as you can see, I have also mentioned we'll be discussing in detail about the protein data bank. Okay, PyMOL and RasMol are the tools which we'll use to visualize the proteins whose structures has been present. Okay. Okay. Then comes, so I have given all the just a flow chart has been given. Like once you have the structure, you understand the function, you understand the biological activity, and then you understand like the mechanism of disease, what is happening, and accordingly you are going to make the drug against that. Okay. Okay. So these are the tools in the structure biology. So guys, I hope that you got all the important aspects right now here, because from the next lecture onwards we'll be doing in detail. Okay, and I require you guys to go through the amino acid 1 letter and 3 letter coding so that it becomes easy for us, to proceed further. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. It will look like a very complex math solution. But we know that once you remember all these 1 letter and 3 letter coding of amino acid, it becomes very easy. So guys, I'll be stopping here right now. Okay. And And let's meet in the next lecture where we can we can start learning about all these series present in the structure biology. Okay. So the next lecture will be all about the primary structure of a protein, because before we proceed and start doing our the understanding of structure biology, we need to understand the protein first. Okay. So yes, I'll be stopping here now. And in the next lecture, let's meet for the primary structure of a protein. Thank you.